What's Crack-A-Lackin? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into the episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleaze. Today's episode, we're going to dive through the top 36 wide receiver rankings heading into week 8 here, guys. Remember, BYEMAGGEDON is here, so it's time to lock in Lions, Raiders, Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks, Jaguars. Get them out of your lineups, man. Do not put them in this week. They are on buys. It is going to be a nightmare for most people in fantasy football this week. Now, before we dive into it, always make sure you tap that thumbs up. Helps me out a ton. Hit that subscription button. Turn that bell on. I'll be live tomorrow for the first Start Sit show of the week. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the live show. We recap everything, see where I was right, where I was wrong, so I can be transparent for you guys. Now, if you have any questions, comments, drop them down below. You know, if you can't make the live show, I'll try to answer every single one of them. They are piling up like madness, but I promise you I'll get to all of them. Now, in this video as well, this is not the stats. If you want like well, obviously stats come into my rankings. I keep saying that in all these videos. But the stat drops, like all the defensive stats against the wide receiver, points, you know, injuries, everything like that. That's on my start sit wide receiver video. This is just acapella, my mind, my personality into the rankings, and we talk about the players here and how I think the game scripts are going to go with them. Now, if you haven't checked out drafters.com, make sure you sign up using promo code SLEAZE. It will double your initial deposit up to $100. And the Guys FF Discord, both of these will be pinned in the comments. I run it with my partner, Big Draft Energy. We cover everything fantasy football 24/7 off stream, and they'll be in the description of the video as well. Now, let's dive into my Week 8 wide receiver top 36 tiered rankings. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my wide receiver board. Tier 1, the baller tier, must start wide receivers. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 5, all the way down to 36. And it is BYEMAGGEDON, man. We got Jay Season up here. J-Mo. I don't even know if J-Mo needs to be on there with his goose egg boomer bust that I say never start. Amon-Ra St. Brown, MHJ, Jacoby Myers, Travis Hunter, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua still hurt. BTJ hurt. We don't know what his update is yet. Chris Godwin is hurt. Mike Evans goes down. Neighbor season is over. Pearsall may not play this week. Ayuk is still on IR. Ridley didn't practice today. And Garrett Wilson, we don't know what's going on with him either, if he's going to be out there. The injuries just won't stop in 2025. It is absolutely bonkers. Now, remember, this is just going to be a cappella plug-in. We're going to go for all 36 here in a row. I'm not going to be looking at stats or nothing. I'm just going to give you fully personality, full breakdown detail here. And again, obviously my rankings come from research behind the scenes. But let's start it off here. The old man, Joe Flacco, reinvigorated Jamar Chase with targets galore last week. He's also made T. Higgins relevant as well. So I'm going to throw Jamar Chase at number 1 and T. Higgins at number 15. They are going up against the New York Jets. And again, if Garrett Wilson is out there, and let's say it's Tyrod Taylor, or let's say it's Justin Fields, either way, the connection had worked. If he's out there, Garrett Wilson, the matchup with the Cincinnati Bengals is pure gold. They're so terrible on defense. So he's probably within my top 3 to 8 range. I mean, he could absolutely go nuclear against Cincinnati Bengals if he's out there. But for now, I'm playing it as he's not out there. Now, why you got to like Jamar Chase? Well, you saw last week with Flacco. There's not much to talk about there. But you got to like T. Higgins as well. I mean, he also was very unselfish for the Bengals to get the win, possibly, maybe even save that game, because if they would have scored that early, they could have drove down. The Bengals could have lost, and their season would be even more in shambles at 3-5. Or sorry, at 2-4. So now they're going to get the Jets. Justin Fields, we know, is playing terrible. Tyrod Taylor could come in the game. He came down with an injury. If Garrett Wilson's not out there, you pretty much got Breece Hall, Mason Taylor, and Breece Hall has been absolutely terrible. So the opportunities are going to be here in bunches. And the Jets are better versus the run than most defenses. So, you know, I do think it will open up a little bit more for Chase Brown, because I think the game's going to be opportunity volume led for the Bengals, because we know the Jets offense is just doo-doo is the best word I'm going to throw out there instead of just cursing on stream. So I like Chase at number 1 and Higgins at number 15. And the Jets, I usually talk about the same player game at the same time, but I got no one else I'm going to throw up here besides Garrett Wilson. Number 2, my goodness, I try to tell you guys, buy low, buy low, buy low for like 4 weeks straight. It took 35 minutes for you to figure out that you should have bought low. He sat out the whole third and fourth quarter. He had 10 targets within 2.5 quarters, 20 fantasy points. Rashee Rice is going to be an absolute league winner, and it's not even close. Now you have Patrick Mahomes. He's on his revenge tour. He's playing out of his goddamn mind, and I don't see any way in hell. And I even see other content creators, not to like throw shade, but I'm like, how can you still rank Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson above him rest of the season? Just makes no sense to me. So Xavier Worthy is my number 26. And Xavier Worthy is now, and I tried to say this last week on stream. I said it yesterday in a tweet. This is Xavier Worthy now. He's going to have no floor in fantasy football. He's maybe 3-4 catches, and you hope he gadget busts one. Or you're going to need an injury to Rashee Rice, and he still really wasn't the wide receiver one when Rashee Rice was out. So it's not looking good. And you're going to have a situation which just happened last week. They're going up against the Commanders, right? And yeah, I'm going to throw them up here because we have Terry McLaurin and Debo. They're trending up to play, but you got Marcus Mariota. So I'm not too high on them on their first game back from injury, both of them. And when I look at Xavier Worthy, I'm worried. Really, not just because he's a gadget player that can pop a deep touchdown. I'm also worried that the Chiefs are just going to blow a lot of teams out. They're not going to need their starters down the stretch. That's how goddamn good these Chiefs are right now. So I got Xavier Worthy at 26. And now Debo Samuel and Terry McLaurin's side. When JD5 gets back, and Terry McLaurin's a guy I stayed away from all year. I even said bench him the first 4 weeks of the season, which was absolute gold. And I'm not going to trust it. I don't trust it. I know that their wide receivers got their run game killed last week with no one out there. You need JD5, man. I don't think Mariota is going to elevate them, to high-end wide receiver 2 status. I'd say they're more flex plays, if anything. I got the hiccups. Wide receiver number 3, Justin Jefferson de Jettas. Now, with him, it's even tough. I mean, I obviously I'm ranking him up here because he's a pure superstar. We all know that, right? Jordan Addison's seen more targets. Jordan Addison's had 3 better games in a row than Justin Jefferson, which is crazy. And you could say, Justin Jefferson's drawing the doubles and leaving Addison and Hawkinson open, or maybe the connection with Carson Wentz isn't there. This is also the Chargers. The Chargers have been very, very good versus the wide receivers. They've been getting torched by the running back for the past 3 weeks straight. So, Justin Jefferson's still a game breaker in one play, obviously, but I'm going to start tempering my expectations here if it gets worse for Justin Jefferson, and I really like Addison as a flex play because he's seeing volume galore, and that's what I like in fantasy football. Now, the nightmare, here it comes. Here it comes. This is the question that everyone's going to have every single week with these guys, and it's just never going to stop, and it's going to be the hardest thing to answer as a content creator, period, is which Los Angeles Chargers wide receiver is going to hit. So last week, we told you that the Indianapolis Colts struggle versus the slot. So you're going to get a Keenan Allen, Lab McConkey game. Boom. Keenan Allen goes for 40. Lab McConkey goes for 17 or whatever it was. And Quentin Johnston missed a deep ball also. So now this game is way stronger versus the slot. Very good versus the wide receiver. Very good versus the run. They just held Saquon Barkley down. So I'm going to go with the guy that I know that I think is going to get the most volume in Lab McConkey. Keenan Allen at number 14, Keenan Allen at 21, Quentin Johnston at 25. And it's like Russian roulette, man. Could Quentin Johnston hit a bomb? Sure. He's looked great. His separation is beyond belief this year for what I thought Quentin Johnston was going to be. Keenan Allen, Lab McConkey volume, guys. Keenan Allen's your red zone guy. Good luck. I mean, I'd rather just sell one so I don't have this situation weekly if they pop. Now, coming up behind that, man, number 4. Situation is great here. So if you guys know me or been in my channel, I was very, very low on the Eagles passing game all year long. And obviously they erupted against one of the best freaking pasties in football in the Minnesota Vikings last week, hitting kind of a busted play to A.J. Brown down the sideline, then a home run over the top to Devonta Smith, and another home run to A.J. Brown. So it wasn't like, their pass attack was phenomenal. They did hit a lot of bombs in it. I'm not discounting anything. Jalen Hurts looked great. But now you get the New York Giants. Jackson Dart, they beat you last time. Dallas Goedert was the focal point of this offense last time. I think the Giants are going to know that. I think it's going to be a different strategy. They're very good versus the run. It is a Saquon Barkley revenge game. But where the Giants get toasted is that secondary. So, still hard to trust for me, but this is the first time A.J. Brown's been in my elite tier or baller tier all year long. I'm at number 4, and I have Devonta Smith at number 17, and I think it's going to be an air raid attack here from the Eagles again this week, just because the Giants struggle so much. On the Giants side, Wan'Dale Robinson's the only one that's going to make it up here. He's at number 29. He's actually been really, really solid. I mean, just imagine when Malik Neighbors comes back in 2026, man. Imagine what the Giants do in the draft. Imagine if they trade for a wide receiver now so they don't have to worry about it next year. You know, there's so many options they could do. They have the answer in Jackson Dart. This guy is him. Just needs offensive line protection around him and a couple more weapons, and it is wheels the fuck up. I love Jackson Dart so much. But Wan'Dale Robinson, I put it at 29. He's a flex play. He's a volume guy, not a high TD guy. Moving on down here, he gets another break. Emeka Egbuka, man. Mike Evans, I mean, God, one of my favorite players, man. Not going to get his 11th year of 1,000 yards. I hope he comes back this season. I hope the Bucs make the playoffs, or I hope he comes back in 2026. Not how I want to see one of my favorite wide receivers go out. But Emeka Egbuka, man, and people could say last game, yeah, he was playing with a hammy. He looked great with his routes. Baker Mayfield just missed him. Like, he underthrew that touchdown. If you've seen the picture where he's got a 10-foot separation and he misses him. Then he's wide open on the right side. He overthrows him by 10 yards in the air. Wide open on the left side, overthrows him by like 7 yards. I don't know what was going on with Baker Mayfield. But this man, Emeka Egbuka, is freaking special. He is going to be a top 10 wide receiver for years to come. The matchup here versus the Saints, when you have Godwin's been ruled out already. He's out. Evans' season, or fantasy season, may be over. Playoffs may not be. And Bucky Irving's been ruled out. They're going to lean on Emeka Egbuka again here. You can expect another smash game easy from him. Number 6, and this is the only time you'll ever see me rank CeeDee Lamb this low, is because you're getting Patrick Surtain. And, you know, I've had a couple arguments with people on Twitter saying he's going to guard George Pickens because he doesn't play in the slot. Dude, Patrick Surtain is a corner that shadows all over the field. He's one of the only ones that does it, and he is the best to do it. So, yeah, CeeDee Lamb is one of the best wide receivers, one of my favorite players to watch. This is going to be one of the matchups you should be glued to. Learn, like, anybody that's playing football or up-and-coming kids, or if you're watching the video, this is the matchup you watch. I mean, this is going to be awesome to see. So, CeeDee Lamb, I just have him lower because he's going up against the best corner. That is the only reason. And George Pickens, I have at 18, just because his numbers have dipped a little bit with CeeDee Lamb. So, could it be a situation where CeeDee Lamb gets bottled up and George Pickens has a big game? Sure, but I'm not betting on that. I'm always going to bet on CeeDee Lamb over Pickens. Now, onto the Broncos side, smash him into your lineups. Courtland Sutton is in for a monster game. We just got to hope that the Broncos aren't the Broncos that just don't show up for 3 quarters of football. I mean, Bo Nix has scored like 50 freaking plus fantasy points in the past 2 games in the 4th quarter alone, which is crazy. That 33-point comeback was absolutely bonkers. Courtland Sutton has been absolutely lights out, and this is the best matchup you could get. The Dallas Cowboys defense is atrocious. You start everyone against them. Courtland Sutton is going to be an easy smash play. He'll be on my smash video as well. Now, number 8, don't give up hope yet. So now I got another update after Sleeper themselves. So Sleeper headquarters, they tweeted this morning that I'll read it here for you because this just popped up right now. So I want to give you the live information here. So Lamar Jackson was talked to by Dan Graziano of ESPN, and they thought that he could possibly sit out a game. I had a couple conversations with people familiar with the situation that led me to believe that Lamar Jackson may miss another game while recovering from the hip injury. Then lo and behold, an hour ago, Lamar Jackson is on the practice field. So I'm taking it as Lamar Jackson is going to play. They are 1-5. You can see his player props. You can see the spread. So I'm still following Vegas here that he's going to be out there, even though that update dropped. So Romo Dunze and DJ Moore, they have one of the best matchups. The Ravens, yeah, they're coming off a bye, but their defense has been terrible versus the pass. Their front's been good, but their secondary still, even with some big names out there, have not been good. So Wiggins, the cornerman, really hasn't been the draft capital they spend on him yet, but I'm hoping he develops into it. So when you're looking at this game, people are going to panic on Romo Dunze because last week, right? He had a down game. He had a down game before that. Dude, the Bears ran the ball 45 times last game because the weather was terrible. So I even had Caleb Williams as a smash play and miss. You got to eat the bad with the good. This is going to be the good. Do not panic on Romo Dunze and DJ Moore and Caleb Williams. They're going to bounce back in this game. That was sleet, hail, rain, weather they were in last week. It was terrible. So I got Rome Odunze at 8 and DJ Moore at 23. Coming in behind him, this one's sketchy, man. It's very, very sketchy. Drake London is coming in at number 9. And I know Penix is banged up. And I really don't know how much they're going to need Drake London, but I'm hoping he can get it going early. Because if he doesn't, this is probably the Bijan, Tyler Algier 40 attempt run game because the Miami defense just cannot stop the run. I mean, you can literally just bleed the clock on this defense every single drive, just pounding the run. So, yeah, I love Drake London. I love the matchup. Miami secondary is not good at all, but they also can't stop the run. So it's like we kind of need Miami to score first on the opening kickoff in this game is how I look at it. Because if the Falcons go down and score, they're probably going to go down and score again, and then you probably won't see much passing volume. So that's what worries me with Drake London, but I still have him at number 9. On the Dolphins side, Jalen Waddle, I have him as a sit this week. That's why he's next to Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy, I always say boom or bust. That's up to you. And this is going to be a tough, tough game here. So Dolphins, absolutely, the season is over there in shambles. They're like that gif of that dumpster just floating down the water of a dumpster fire that you can put on your phone. That's the Miami Dolphins team. So they even talked about today, trade rumors with Jalen Waddle. You're going to get the Atlanta Falcons. You're going to get A.J. Terrell. This guy's been locked down as it gets on wide receiver ones. I do not like Jalen Waddle at all this week, but it's BYEMAGGEDON, so he makes it in there. And if you want to flex him for volume, take a shot at it, but I don't love it, period. Coming in at number 10, and again, this is firmly based on Lamar Jackson, and we just got the update again that he is practicing. So, again, we'll revisit it in case you skip through the video, you're watching certain parts. This morning, Sleeper tweeted out, let me pull it up again here. Of course, my phone goes to a different spot when I look away. Sleeper tweeted out right here. Okay. So at Sleeper NFL, Ravens QB Lamar Jackson could miss week 8 per Dan Graziano of ESPN. I had a couple of conversations with people familiar with the situation that led me to believe that Lamar Jackson might miss one other game recovering from the hamstring injury. Then an hour ago, or was it 45 minutes ago, he's at practice. So I'm taking that Lamar Jackson is out there. The Ravens are 1-5. Their season is pretty much on the line. And if he is out there, I'm telling you, Zay Flowers is going to have a monster game this week. The Bears secondary, Jalen Johnson, Fresno native here, superstar corner, he's out. Whole defense is banged up in the secondary for the Browns, or for the Bears. They've been terrible versus the pass, and Lamar will just ignite this offense, and it'll be electric, and everyone's going to be rocking and rolling, and that's why they're favored by 6.5 when they're 1-5. And the Bears are on a 4-game win streak, and the Ravens are favored by 6.5. Let that sink in. It's Lamar's day time. Now on the we covered the Bears side. Oops, did I do the Bears and the Ravens at the same time and I skipped it? I think I did. Okay, messed that up. So Falcons, Dolphins covered. Okay, I thought I skipped through them. All right, number 11. We're on. This is how you know it's just a live show, baby. There's no plan here. We're just going straight a cappella. DK Metcalf. This is the Aaron Rodgers revenge game. This is going to be nasty. And this is like the game that we are all waiting for, and I hope it lives up to the expectations. I expect this game to be a shootout as well. And DK Metcalf's got to get more volume. I know that he's getting the deep bombs, and Aaron Rodgers still throwing a very pretty deep ball. He's been efficient as you can be at age 41. I think he's like top 7 in accuracy, if I remember from my charts, or top 8, whatever it is. He's been playing great. And you just saw him and Joe Flacco go toe-to-toe. Jordan Love has not been playing good. So you better hope Jordan Love shows up in this game, or Aaron Rodgers is going to mop him out the building here. Now, when I'm looking at the Packers side, and this is just going to be a nightmare, guys. Like, this is why, like, I tell you, like, don't draft these guys, man. So I know Romeo Doubs has been good. He's been a flex spot every now and then. So I don't mean don't draft him. But I have Romeo Doubs at 30, and I have Matthew Golden at 33. And we might get Christian Watson back this week. And then you might get Jaden Reed back in 2-3 weeks. And then what do I tell you to do with the Green Bay wide receiver room? Oh, yeah, let me just pick this guy out of a freaking hat. That's how it's going to be all year long. You're probably possession guy is probably going to be Romeo Doubs, and the rest, just draw a name out of a hat. Or try and trade him, man. Try and trade him so you don't get yourself stuck in this situation. And I don't even own any more of these guys in redraft. And I did draft Matthew Golden a lot. Trust me on that. So 30 and 33, you got the Steelers. Yeah, they struggle in the secondary. They've got all the old heads. Jalen Ramsey's washed up. He's getting cooked everywhere. But, man, I just, you don't know what's going to hit Tucker Kraft has a super plus matchup here for the tight ends as well. Josh Jacobs just keeps scoring. So, yeah, dart throw flex plays if you like. I'd say Romeo Doubs is safer based on volume. Moving on down here, my guy. I told you guys to draft him all year long. Chris Olave, the connection is finally hitting. Oh, and it looked pretty. And it was in hail, sleet, rain that we were talking about in the Bears game last week. Spencer Rattler is looking better in the Kellen Moore system. There's no way around that. This guy was thrown to the wolves. You know, he didn't have a good rookie year. He's learning on the ropes with not a lot of help. And he's been doing not that bad, even though the record doesn't show it. So, and their defense is terrible. So, I mean, that doesn't help. But when it comes to Chris Olave, I think I have Rashid Shaheed down here too. I don't want to skip him. I think I have him at 34. He's like a Matthew Golden. He's like a Jameson Williams. Boom or bust. If you want to take the shot, I always say it's up to you on those guys because I don't recommend boom or bust players. So, Chris Olave and what I was talking about, besides if you've been in here, you've been subscribed, you know what I've been talking about all year long. Volume is king. And look, he's number 2 in targets in the NFL. And if you watch the first 5 games, he never had that big boom game with a touchdown besides that little short red zone pass. I think it was like week 3 or 4. And he didn't really do anything in that game either. So that kind of saved his game. But there's been like 6, 7, and Chris Olave is an elite wide receiver. 6, 7 bombs that just missed by 4 or 5 yards where he has a touchdown, guys. Touchdowns. Then it starts to connect last week with the Bears, against the Bears. Dude, look out. Kellen Moore is an offensive-minded guru. He uses Chris Olave in the slot like a genius, and this is going to be nasty for the rest of the season if they can keep this connection going, and this is what I was chasing all year long, was the Kellen Moore offense and the volume of playing from behind 24/7. And obviously the concussions worried people, but scared money don't make money, man. So coming from the Saints game here, we got to grab the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh, I already did Emeka Egbuka. See? I know I skipped over somewhere. And I have Rashid Shaheed at 34. So, again, Shaheed, Matthew Golden, Jameson Williams, and who's the fourth one that we were talking about that I tweeted out as kind of boomer bust players that I just, if you need to throw them out there, that's up to you. I don't like starting them. So, we're hoping here. I skipped over. Number 13, and we don't know if this is going to happen yet, so make sure you're paying attention to the injury updates. Nico Collins, man. Concussion, CJ Stroud. Someone has got to tell me what has gone on with CJ Stroud in his head since his rookie year where we thought this guy was going to be just a phenom. It does not look good. I know the offensive line is bad again. I mean, you could say that for sure. But his throws are off. His head doesn't look like he's in the game. It's just tough. And now Nico Collins with a concussion on Monday night. So shorter window to make the game on Sunday. We don't know if he's going to be out there. Christian Kirk is banged up. Jaden Higgins has been a shell of himself. I loved him coming out of Iowa State. He hasn't been good. Jay the Knoll, the other Hawkeye, the other Iowa State cycle when they drafted, he's been all right for the past 2 games. A little emergence there. You know, you got no offensive line. It's really scary times for all Texans owners right now, or all Texan fantasy players right now. But I still have him at 13. He's still a superstar. He just needs to get it together. Number 16, one of the plays I like a lot this week, a lot more than Keyshawn Boutte, who's catching the home runs on less volume. So we're going to talk about the New England Patriots. Oh my God, I thought I had Keyshawn Boutte up here. Wow, see, this stream is just all over the place. But, so Keyshawn Boutte is my 35, but for some reason I can't find it. So I think that's probably going to skip in Jerry Jeudy, but I'll talk about it when we get there. So, this game for the Patriots here, Drake May, superstar is rising among us 100%. They just hit the nail on the head again from Tom Brady to Drake May. This guy's going to be good for 7 to 10 years, and the Patriots are probably going to be a playoff team this year with how easy their schedule is. Now in this game, and the Patriots have had a very easy schedule so far, guys, as well, and a very easy run schedule, which made Ramondre Stevenson become the starter and look good. Now they're playing the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns defense is absolutely lights out number 1 versus the run. Like number 1 in yards. Well, I think they've given up 1 touchdown and number 1 in yards per carry. Going to be tough. So they're going to need to rely on the pass game more here. And I like the volume of Stephon Diggs because the slot is what kills the Browns. And his connection with Drake May is growing and growing, and it's becoming nice, even though his usage isn't up to like Stephon Diggs' usage. I don't know if we're going to get that 80% Stephon Diggs usage. He's playing at 50%. So it's still scary volume-wise to me, but this is a game where he's going to be leaned on more. Moving down to tier 3, number 19, Ted McMillan. We are hoping that Andy Dalton can open it up for this guy. I mean, the Bills secondary is beat up. They had, I'll put Khalil Shakir up here. He's at 24. And when you're looking at Ted, yeah, he got those 2 touchdowns in that game where I even had him as a smash play, but he's not seeing the volume. The targets haven't been there. Xavier Legette is seeing more targets than him. I don't know how you don't get a 6'5" guy the ball 10 times a game. That's a superstar, rookie, elite talent. But I hope Andy Dalton can open it up here because, Rapp is hurt. Benson's hurt. Milano, maybe they're back off the bye. I haven't seen the update yet, but the Bills' defense has been shambles. This should be a game where they're playing in a bad game script, where they're playing from behind, and volume should be there in bunches for Ted McMillan. But I'm still going to put him at 20 because it just hasn't been there. On the Khalil Shakir side for the Bills, Panthers D's been good. Panthers front's been good. They're vastly improved from last year. I do not trust any wide receiver versus J.C. Horn. He's a superstar corner that's going to probably be on Keon Coleman 70% of the time. So Khalil Shakir is where the Bills are going to live across the middle, and probably Joshua Palmer and a couple deep shots here and there. But Khalil Shakir is like always that flex guy with like a 15 to 20% touchdown upside. Safe, scary, safe kind of play. Number 22, Michael Pittman and Josh Downs practice out of concussion protocol today. He's at 35. And Keyshawn Boutte should be 36. But so I don't know how much they're going to need to be used. I'm very afraid of the Colts wide receivers this week. Obviously, Pittman coming off that big game, 20 points. Downs was also out last week. And when I'm looking at it, like, Jonathan Taylor may rush for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. How much are they going to need to pass against the Tennessee Titans? Oof, right? So flex play at best for both. The Titans is done. They're cooked. So this is the highest powered offense in the NFL, and I'm scared of the wide receivers because Jonathan Taylor may just crush them. So flex play at best for Pittman, low-end flex play for Downs, very scary. On the Titans side, he's not up there. But if Calvin Ridley makes it out to practice tomorrow, Friday is always the big day, right? Not tomorrow, Friday. So if he makes it out there, dude, the Colts are 32nd in so many categories versus the wide receiver. It is a smash play for Calvin Ridley, and I would put him in this range of 10 to 13 right here if he plays in the game. Again, we don't know hamstring. He's 30 years old. Most likely not. But if he does, that's where I like him. Number 28, my 49ers, Juan Jennings. Tough matchup versus the Texans. We leaned on CMC last week. I think we're going to lean on CMC, and Kittle's going to get involved more here. Coming off a goose egg for my guy Kittle, diddle down the middle. That doesn't make any sense to me. I started him everywhere. It hurt very, very bad. And I love his press game afterwards. Blame the coach, man. He's one of the funniest guys. Now, number 36. So this is supposed to be Keyshawn Boutte. I do not trust Jerry Jeudy at all. He would be my honorable mention. I don't know if I have. Where is he, man? See, this was just not a prepared show here. Sorry, I messed it up, guys. But yeah, I can't find Keyshawn Boutte. But Jerry Jeudy, I do not want to start at all, especially against Christian Gonzalez. Yeah, right. Thanks for rocking with me. That is the end of the episode. That is my top 36 wide receivers to help you through this hellish BYEMAGGEDON week, guys. Remember, if you have any questions, drop them down below. It doesn't have to pertain to this video. I will try to get to them all on your way out. If you haven't already, tap that little thumbs up button, hit that subscription, turn that bell on. Again, I'll be live tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern for the first Start Sit show. And then all weekend long, I'll have different guests throughout the week. We'll be covering different topics here in fantasy football. If you guys haven't checked out the Guys FF Discord or drafters.com and use promo code SLEAZE, check out the link below, pinned in the comments and in the description of the video. That's it for me, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the content in this episode. I'll be back. My next video will be my tight end rankings. I believe top 25. I'm going to go through maybe top 20. I have it sketched out. I just don't know how far I want to go during BYEMAGGEDON. I don't think you're going to need to go that deep at tight end. So that's it for me. I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Sleaze Bomb out.